few more parts came here for the Mustang. These are some tri-Y headers. They're supposed to be for a 4-speed car, so I think they'll probably go right in. My body panel, I got it for this side. Looks like it's a little big, but it's going to take a little whittling to get that to fit. Pieces are coming. The main thing I got to do, I guess, is I found a guy with a used window. I want to sell it for $50, so I get a window in here. And of course I found carpet and seats and everything else for it. I really don't want to put any of that stuff in there until I get it painted. I'm going to have to replace this front window as well. I may just try a local auto glass place and see what they want to put a new window in. And move on from there. I think I want to paint it before I put the window in. Otherwise I'm trying to mask it up to the rubber and everything else. I don't want to do that. Pretty rough car. Well, not really that rough, but a lot of work on it. I sorted out some of this distributor stuff yesterday. Kind of got it running. I guess I'll see how much trouble it's going to be to replace these headers. It don't look like it's going to be that bad. So anyway, lots of work. There's the old distributor. It does work. And I got a new cap and wires and everything for it, so I can probably sell that for something, or I'll just keep it. It's just got the other one on a hoping that maybe it was the distributor was bad. It runs better, of course, electronic ignition, but it didn't solve my main problem. Anyway, started on it again. Next snag, started putting these headers in. I got the pipe out pretty good. I'm trying to put them in through the top. It looks like I'm hitting my valve cover and the frame here. I tried to put them in from the bottom. No soap that way either. And I think that these things go under that clutch rod. From looking at them, it's like 2 or 3 inches behind the hole, and it looks like the header's coming out in front of that last port there. And I've almost got them to go here. I can kind of move them around a little. And there, it looks like if I had another ½ an inch here, they would probably go in. I'm just guessing, of course, they might not go in at all. But I think what I'm going to have to do is go down in there to that motor mount and take that, loosen that motor mount up and jack the motor up. Now that's going to play hell with my clutch arm down there. Hopefully it'll flex enough to get me to the room I need to get this header down in there. Obviously I should clean all that stuff first, but I'm gonna not just try to put these in there and get them bolted up. I probably have to take them off later and clean it. And the other side looks about the same. Of course, I don't have the clutch down in there, so this will be pretty much easier. It looks like that'll shove up from the bottom real well. I have plenty of room. So this is the hard side. I figured I'd try to do it first, and it was the one that was broke. So anyway, so I think that's what I'm gonna have to do is loosen up that motor mount and see if I can jack this motor up. I don't think it's going to need much. Maybe if I get it up an inch, that would give me enough clearance to get these headers in, and I might have to take off that valve cover to get a little more, but mostly got it done. You know, I'm right at the bend here, so it don't really look like it got much to go at all. So that's what I'll do, jack it up and try to get that mount out. Looked around on YouTube, found some videos how to do it. Apparently there's the rocker arm in here. It's got two bolts that mount it to the top of the frame. I just couldn't see them. I got a lot of dirt and crap in here, so I'm going to blow all this out and take that rock arm off there. Try to clean this up a little. Maybe I can get some paint up in there on that block. Scrape some of the grease and shit off of here, and hopefully today I'll get this this header in here and everything cleaned up. I decided I'd just go ahead and do it right and take my time on it, rather than try to just put it in temporary so I can roll it, drive it around. And I got my manifold for it. It came today, so I might as well just leave it here. I don't have to drive it. I was gonna put the front end on that old 37 Ford over there, but I think I'd be better off trying to just do the motor and get this where it runs right first. Anyway, I'll clean up that motor and see if we can get that exhaust in. The valve cover off, and it dropped almost all the way down in there. Looked like it's hitting a little right there in the back, but it missed my clutch and everything, and I really don't have much more room to move it. It looks like I'm going to be able to just pry the whole thing over there. Good enough anyway. Pretty sure that'll go in. Of course, it's not a one-handed job. But looks like that header is going to drop in there. Once I get it in, then I can see what I have to do. I might have to mark it and pull it out and pound it in. And it's supposed to fit though, so just a matter of getting it in. It would be much easier to put it up through the bottom, of course, but there's no way I'm going to raise this thing 4 feet off the ground. Don't have the proper lifts to do any of that with. A little bit, fill right in, no problem at all. And these look like the same kind of exhaust gaskets that came with a header kit. So I'll try to get some bolts up in it and see where it's interfering in the back, and figure out how to weld on that collector. That header mostly in. I got a screwdriver in the back there that's holding it in place, and I'm pretty close here, but I'm touching the firewall right there. And if I let the motor down, it presses in some more. And what's keeping me now is that you can see it there, but it's the end of the header down in there hitting the exhaust pipe, and that's solid as hell because it's got a H pipe in there, and it ain't gonna wiggle or move. So I'm gonna get in there and kind of measure off what I need to cut to put the cone and everything on it, and just cut that pipe off with enough room there so I can give that header a twist towards the outside of the car, and that should be enough to be able to close my gap here on the front. Motor down, and got some more problems here. This head has got an Allen plug, and it's sticking out past the gasket. You can see it there. So there's no way that header is gonna bolt down, and I'm touching it right here against the firewall, but you can see I got about 1/8 of an inch gap all the way back there where these plugs are holding it. So I either gotta grind those plugs down flat so they'll clear the header. It looks like they're plenty deep enough, and I've marked it back there where I can knock a dent into it to clear this this frame a little bit. I let it down, but it's putting pressure on it right now. These guy said that the heads were redone. I don't know. Don't look like they cleaned up the valve springs or anything. It's not dirty. Not too dirty anyway. So I don't know, maybe they just put a camshaft in it. There's no telling what they did to this thing. But at least I can get to the numbers now. See what I do have. But anyway, I gotta jack it back up and get this header out of here. I marked it where I can grind it. I'll see what I can figure out here. I'll get the header out again. At least this time I can just drop it down. I don't have to try to fit it through this hole. And see what I got to do to make it fit these heads. One of these out, they come out pretty easy, and it looks like it's got exhaust on it. I think probably what this is a late model smog head that somebody plugged. Anyway, it don't look like it'll be that big a deal to cut it off enough to go back in there. We'll see. I'm going to see if I can find the number on these heads and see if I can find out exactly what it is. I don't remember where these are. I think that's the number right there. It says 289 over there. I'm pretty sure that that's the casting number here. I'm not sure. Again, let's see if I can clean this stuff up and find out what kind of head I got here. But sure, it does look like a smog exhaust port. I don't think they would have had any in that. It's got a 66 on it there, so I'll do a little searching on the web and see what I can find. There, I just cut about 1/4 of an inch of that off, put some JB weld on it, and put it back in. I can't really read those numbers there, but I'll just do that for all 4 of these. It's just a exhaust port, so JB weld hold that just fine. It would be real no fire on the JB weld itself. I finally got it narrowed down to one uncooperative bolt that was right in the back. I was able to get a little air tool in there and open the header up just a little, and it was just enough to get it started. So the header's on and tight. I've got it I've got it lowered all the way down onto the motor mount. It's hitting right there. You can see it's kind of blue there where I tried to heat it up and bend it. I think that's what I'll do again. I'm going to take MAP gas and try to get that red hot, and then drive a chisel down in there. I don't care what bends, whether it's the frame or the pipe, as long as I got a little room in it. I don't really like it that close, but I've had this problem before in that exact same spot on a Falcon, which is basically the same body. So I'll heat it up and see if I can bend it and see what happens. Here we are on the Mustang. So I got some silicone, I got all the gaskets. Everything should be good here for the manifold. I'll just pull this manifold off of here and put the other one on, and I've got to glue the front and rear of it. So while all the silicone's drying for that, I'll go ahead and remove this other exhaust manifold. I think I found the problem there. all these manifold bolts were loose, not real loose, but they come out easily with the impact there. I think there was 2 of them that I thought would have been tight enough, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It was just not, manifold wasn't sealing good. Anyway, I'll blow this thing off of there and get it off here and see what we got. Look no further. There's my problem. The guy put a half a tube of silicone on there, and it just popped right out, just pulled out. So I'm not even going to bother trying to find out which ones leaked. Looks like they all leaked. So that is the problem. Just got this whole thing full of silicone. Nothing is and don't look like it cleaned it either, because the silicone's just pulling off of the motor. It's not really stuck very good at all. So anyway, so I'll clean that up, put new gaskets on it, stick the manifold on it, try to clean it up a little, and maybe squirt some paint on it. I may not do anything. Probably should, at least around the front of the manifold and the back. But now I just have to get this old silicone off. I don't even think it's gonna need a scraper here, just a little piece of sheet metal here. Just taking it right off. I'll get some rags in there and get this shit out of here. Put these things on. I use some weather strip adhesive, and I just put a little dab around a few places on the intake manifold. You can kind of see where I'm not trying to seal it, I'm just trying to kind of hold it in place. I do the same for the little quart gaskets here, and I'll let that tack up a little bit, and I'll stick it on, and that'll hold it in place. And then I'll fill the ends with silicone. I'll show you that when I'm done. I do it as tacked, or use the yellow stuff to make it like a contact cement, put the main gasket in place, and then I just put quite a bit of silicone right in the corner where the quart gasket goes. I just ran a little thin skin around there with my finger. But mostly where you really want to get it's right here in the corners. So when the manifold goes down and squishes it, that'll be plenty to fill it. So the purpose of that contact cement is just to hold it in place, and it's pretty strong right now. So now I just be real careful and set the manifold directly down on it, put a few bolts in it, and tighten it up. We should be good to go. This all in, bolted up, torqued down. Torque it to 22 foot-pounds and kind of an X pattern, center to the outside. I didn't have any fancy bolts, so I cleaned those up good and oiled them. I replaced one there with a grade 8 bolt, put washers on them all. So now it looks like I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my thermostat. I got to take it off that old manifold there. It was kind of hard to get to it, but thermostat and my heater hoses, I probably shouldn't even mess. Well, it shouldn't be too bad. Just a little bit of cleaning up. I didn't do anything really to the motor, just cleaned it good. And valve covers need to be cleaned up and painted. Everything needs to be cleaned up and painted. But for now, it's in, and most likely I can put a carburetor and some gas on it, put the distributor back and fire it up. But I kind of want to, I know that that's good, so I'm going to go ahead and try to fix all my hoses and stuff first. Here she blows. I don't have a PVC valve in it. I've just got it plugged, so I don't think it has any vacuum leaks. This carburetor, I rebuilt it. I put new gaskets and stuff in it. It doesn't have a choke, but it's got a really good accelerator pump. I've got everything, the timing was straightforward here, and it's straightforward now. So everything should be good enough to start. I'll see if I can put the little camera on here and see what happens. Really showing much of anything. I've got this sitting on the AMX, but probably good enough to see it start. It's going to be loud. I've got an open header on one side. Obviously I got something wrong. No idea how close my timing is. I might have my firing order messed up too. So I'll do a little diagnosing here. Well, I pulled my number 1 cylinder and checked it. It was timing was way retarded. I apparently moved it around a little, so I put it where it's almost open and right at 12 degrees before. And everything's good. It should fire right up. So that's a success. And my idle screw here. Oh, there it is. This is kind of a weird one. You got to adjust it from the front. Give it a turn here. That's about 3/4 of a turn. Purrs like a kitten even with that old bad carburetor. I know that I rebuilt that carburetor so it would idle, and it's got a good accelerator pump in it, but I don't have any water in it, so I didn't run it too long. And I don't have a PVC valve hooked up on it. That'll make a big difference too. I'm not sure. I think I moved timing around. I got it about right. For some reason my timing light's not working right here. It looked like that's why. Battery cable was barely on. Put the charger back on, and something wrong with it, but that's all right. Starts up good, and got it all back together. That's the most important thing. And I can get the other header on it, make another big step on it tomorrow. Well, I pulled the manifold off, exhaust manifold, and test fit my header. It went right down in there. Have no trouble at all getting that on. And it had some weird bolts in it. I do have these plugs right here, but they also put some big bolt back in there. These casting numbers are date codes here. It's a 6B18 date code, and it's a 289 head. So I'm not sure what that is. I did fire it up this morning, and once I cut that exhaust pipe, sounds really good. It's idling good. So looks like I got just a little tweaking on this carburetor. I got some fuel leaking out of it right there. I think I've got that back bolt set just a little bit too high. But I'll set that down and blow this all out good with air. Quite a bit of dirt in it, but not terribly bad. And move forward on getting this header put in. Well, I found my Ford blue plate, so I cleaned up this valve cover with my little air tool there. And I'm gonna, this is black paint, but it's primer paint. So I'm just gonna put a decent coat of this on there, not real thick. More of a primer surfacer than anything else. That looks pretty good. And then I'll let this dry good, and then I'll hit it with my Ford blue, and it should look pretty nice. Don't look like I got any scratches or anything in it. Of course, this rattle can out here in the dirt, so it ain't gonna be that good, but good enough. Now I can move on to my exhaust. To fooling around with this thing, and it had the wrong bolts in it, and they were kind of stripped in. These are the pieces I'd cut off of the other plugs. So I'm going to take a cutoff tool and put a big flat screwdriver blade place in there, and then I'll mix up some JB weld and screw these plugs into the heads. I'm pretty sure I got 4 of them here, so then I can put the headers on and let that stuff dry. It's all back together. Wires are on right. Not very pretty routing, but I painted that manifold dark Ford blue. I mean, not the manifold, valve cover. It looks pretty nice. Sure, nice compared to that one for sure. But should be ready to start. Got a heater hose on unplugged there, and put some water in it, and I have to put my vacuum or PVC line on it, and I'll fire it up.